Imagine this apple represents our planet. I want to show you the tiny amount of land we've got to grow our food on. First, I've got to get rid of 3/4 of this apple. Now this is all the oceans and the seas. Next to go are the areas that we can't farm. Places like deserts, mountains, and of course, towns and cities. And this is what we're left with. You've got to imagine that this is the area of the earth that we've got to grow all our food on. But in fact, this small sliver represents the soil we've got to grow our food in. And we've got to feed nearly 7 billion people with it. And in the future, this tiny bit of land will have to feed even more people. Over the next 40 years, we need to double the amount of food we produce. I want to see how farmers around the world are going to meet that challenge. And the last leg of my journey has brought me to Kenya. This is dangerous stuff. A country that exports food around the world, but struggles to feed its own population. Those guys there, they're the ones that cause you all the problems, don't they? So farmers here are pioneering new ways to get more from their land.
You just have to get right in.
So like the baby in the womb?
The baby is right in there.
If the world is going to feed itself in the future, then Africa has to produce more, far more. There are farmers in Kenya who think they can. Just arrived in Nairobi and quite a culture shock. There's people everywhere, buses everywhere. It's quite confusing. The population of Kenya has exploded from 8 to 38 million within a generation. It's a farming nation, but Kenya doesn't produce enough food to feed its people. 1/4 of the population go hungry. And while the rest of the world has increased its productivity, Africa has stayed still. But if you look at it in another way, if you're starting from the bottom, the only way is up. Yeah, right. How you doing? I'm Jim.
Henry.
Nice to meet you, Henry. And off we go. If I'm honest, I've tended to think of Africa as a bit of a farming backwater. I really want to be proved wrong. My first stop is to see a brilliant new way to tackle food shortages in Africa. It's being pioneered in Western Kenya. Luanda is a bustling market town. On the surface, it looks like there's food available. Yet I know many farmers can't even feed their families. I want to see for myself what's going wrong. Marco Chuku used to be a fisherman on nearby Lake Victoria. But fish stocks decline. He relies on his farm now to support his wife and children. You'll get some harvest from here, won't you? But not a... It's pretty obvious all's not well. Mark's maize crop is dying. Here, look, this is damage. This plant...
It's dead.
It's dead in the middle. The heart of it's died. Yeah. So you're never going to get anything from that.
Nothing. I expect nothing.
That's giving you nothing, isn't it?
Nothing totally.
I've got a good idea what's attacking these plants. Let's open her up. There are holes all along the stem. There we go, look at that. There is the fat caterpillar, just there.
The caterpillars feast on the plant tissue.
Let's get him out. Here we go.
Very deadly.
These caterpillars are the larvae of a moth that bores into the stem of the maize. Naturally enough, it's called the stem borer moth. They're a nightmare for any farmer. This pest can destroy around 40% of the maize crop. But if that wasn't enough, there's an even bigger threat to Mark's crop.